Hi, and welcome to a new episode of ITQonversations. Again, a VMworld special. In the last video, I talked to Ruud Keizer about the VMware Tanzu portfolio and how to integrate ML applications on that platform. Now, in this video, I don't have one guest, but I have two special guests with me, Niels Hagoort and Jits Langedijk. Before we dive into the introduction, in this video, we're going to basically talk about the same platform, but we're going to dive a bit into the technology. Now, Niels, welcome. How is VMworld until so far for you?
Virtual, very virtual still. I kind of miss the physical events.
Yeah.
But hey, for a virtual platform, I think we're on top of our game. So definitely a lot of interesting sessions still to come as well. So really looking forward to
Over
that.
800 interesting sessions.
800, yeah. Quite a number.
Cool, thanks. Jits, same question to you. How is VMworld until so far for you?
And more or less the same answer as well. But well, I'm happy to be here, looking in each other's eyes. So good that we have some physical, well, all those small gatherings now, right?
This is the closest it gets, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I enjoy that.
Cool. Well, let's talk about Tanzu, GPU acceleration, and NVIDIA AI Enterprise. But let's dive into the VMware side of things first. So VMware announced support for GPUs inside the Tanzu portfolio. Niels, can you explain basically what this is? What does this support mean for customers?
Well, it's definitely an interesting and exciting bit of news that we're bringing to this VMworld. So Tanzu, we were bridging the gap between DevOps and IT infrastructure administrator. And now we are extending that with support for hardware accelerators as well, such as we know with typical workloads and virtual machines, for example, right? But we were missing that bit where we actually have containerized workloads in vSphere with Tanzu, but now with support for vGPU inside the containers with vSphere Tanzu as well.
So to clarify, it's not a GPU or a virtual GPU assigned to a virtual machine that can run containers. It's native containers running inside the vSphere platform that have the capability of assigning or to accelerate towards a GPU, right?
Exactly.
Right.
And the AI space, obviously, and we'll talk about that in the session as well, there's a lot of focus on containers, obviously, for obvious reasons, scalability, etc. So yeah, this is definitely something that I'm really excited about, to finally have that support for vGPU in containers.
Awesome. Now, Jits, in August 2021, NVIDIA announced AI Enterprise, NVIDIA AI Enterprise, which basically enables GPU accelerated ML applications to run on the Tanzu portfolio. Now, Jits, can you basically explain what AI Enterprise is?
Yeah, well, in essence, it's a end-to-end cloud-native suite to support all those workloads, as you just mentioned, like machine learning, deep learning, but maybe also in the near future some high-performance compute workloads in a more modern way of how we deliver and how we run applications, like as Niels just mentioned, all based on a container approach, more or less. So I always look at NVIDIA AI Enterprise as at layers, right? So we're all familiar to all the layers in an infrastructure. But if we look at the base layer, so to speak, the hardware layer, we have, of course, the NVIDIA certified hardware with the hardware accelerators containing the GPUs, but also the network components, data processing units, smart NICs. And then the next layer is, as Niels just mentioned, that's ESXi, VMware vSphere, but also, of course, with Tanzu. And on top of that, and that's that's really the AI and the most interesting part of this AI Enterprise suite. This is where we provide all the tools and all the frameworks for a data scientist to run those containers. So this is where you would find your PyTorch, your TensorFlow, your NVIDIA Rapids, your Triton Inference Server, or TensorRT, for example. So it's a fully optimized for performance. The entire stack is fully optimized for performance, fully certified to run on VMware vSphere, and of course also fully supported by NVIDIA Enterprise support.
And you mentioned a couple of frameworks. That's not where it stops, right? So I had the possibility in the last 12 months to closely work with both VMware as well as NVIDIA to to test a lot of workloads, but also to work with customers to run those workloads. And one of the things that is a game changer, I guess, is the NVIDIA Graphics Cloud, which enables, or GPU Cloud, sorry.
Yep. NGC.
NGC, which basically is a marketplace, right, where all those frameworks live, but where customers can easily just pull a container that contains all of those frameworks fully optimized to run such a workload, right?
Yeah, that's completely correct. NVIDIA GPU Cloud, NGC, is a big repository of all kinds of frameworks, Helm charts, even pre-trained models that you can just ingest with your own data and retrain them for your particular use case. There is a slight difference between what we offer with the AI Enterprise suite and what is available with the entire platform NGC. So as you already had the privilege to work with some of those containers and just pull them and run your workload, with the AI Enterprise suite, we are starting off with only the most popular frameworks. So TensorRT, Triton Inference Server, which is available more for the inferencing part, those two. But we also have PyTorch, TensorFlow, and NVIDIA Rapid. So for deep learning, but also for machine learning, we have the most popular frameworks available. So this is fully certified and optimized to run on the vSphere stack, together with Tanzu, of course. But the NGC platform contains lots and lots more. But this is where we are starting as of, today maybe.
Awesome. Yeah. So Niels, why should customers invest in such a platform?
Well, I think the key takeaway here is the simplicity of it. So with Tanzu, how we offer infrastructure services to developers, right? That is already a step in the right direction, but especially with all the NVIDIA solutions running on top of Tanzu as well, making it far more easy to utilize these kind of technologies. So no longer do you necessarily have to really think hard about all the infrastructural changes that you need to do to run your containerized, to have those hardware accelerators at your disposal. It's becoming quite almost a turnkey solution for developers at least, and data scientists, and I kind of like that.
Now, when you look at the implementation of such a platform, Jits, what key takeaways do you have for customers when they, would like to migrate their applications towards such a platform?
Of course, there are two steps. As Niels just mentioned, it's more easy for an IT department to facilitate all those services. Although the transitioning from maybe the old school approach, maybe the decentralized approach towards a centralized and virtualized environment, that can be tricky as well. So I always advise those customers to, maybe reach out to ITQ and to you or your colleagues to have some good advice. So that's step one. And the second step is, of course, to do this transitioning from also maybe old school is not the right phrasing here, but the traditional approach on how to develop applications based on containers maybe. I think that's the biggest challenge, because it's more like a game changer in the way we need to approach these projects and how we need to develop applications. And it's not only about developing, but also how are we going to implement them. So this is where TensorRT and Triton Inference Server really comes into play. But again, also here, it's very important to seek the advice from the professionals that already have dealt with a lot of these exercises. So I think ITQ, although you're wearing a great T-shirt, ITQ is the partner of choice here. So that would be my advice.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much. Niels, if the viewers would like to know more about the Tanzu platform and the integration with accelerators, where should they look?
Well, they definitely need to view the VMworld sessions. I know, obviously, NVIDIA and VMware together, we had this great announcement in the previous VMworld, right? To bring the two companies closer and to work on solutions like we just discussed. And this is really the fruition of that meeting, basically, that happened to bring the companies more close. So there's a ton of sessions between from NVIDIA people, but also with VMware people together with NVIDIA, talking about Tanzu, talking about everything AI. Next to that, there's obviously a lot more when it comes to vSphere, other projects that we're doing together as well, right? Like Project Monterey. So a lot of interesting technical deep sessions at VMworld this year.
Awesome. What about NVIDIA AI Enterprise?
Yeah, there are multiple sessions together with VMware. Just one of those sessions, what's new from NVIDIA and VMware for Enterprise AI from Justin Boitano and Paul Turner, VP at VMware. So I would definitely recommend those sessions. But there are also, well, you're part of this group, the NVIDIA GPU Community Advisors Group, the NGCA group. So there are multiple NGCAs that are participating in VMworld and sharing all their knowledge and experience. So I would definitely recommend, well, of course, your sessions, but also from Sean Massey, Mark Hubert, Tony Foster. So great guys, all part of this group of 25 people from across the globe. So I definitely would recommend those sessions as well.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about the NVIDIA AI Enterprise Suite, integration with VMware vSphere, Tanzu, and GPU acceleration, feel free to reach out. For now, thanks so much for watching, and we'll definitely see you next time.